Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and welcome to Scouts Tarot, where curiosity and the divine align. This is your December reading, 2021, last one of the year. So I've already pre-shuffled your deck, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So our first card here on your right is the Moon card. And this card represents your energy coming out of November and into the month of December. And apologies if you hear any like annoying background noise, like construction and stuff like that. They're building a building across my street and it cannot be helped. But yeah, so I'll just talk fast and clearly so we can avoid any extraneous noises. But yeah, so Moon card represents your energy going into December out of November. And in your previous reading, Aries, for the month of October, because November was crazy, I did not get to do your November read. So I went back and I listened to your October reading, and a lot of the energy going into November focused on that Four Swords energy, that taking time to yourself to reflect, to recuperate, to rest up, to take that time to focus on you for a little while. And the Moon card embodies that path, right? That shadow work that you've been doing, that taking the time, that Four Swords energy, taking the time in November to reflect on either your feelings, your choices, how events affected you, any choices that you may have made, or positions you may have been in that either felt uncomfortable or made you feel things you didn't want to feel, stuff like that. That is represented by the Moon energy towards the end of November, where it's now that you've taken that time with the Four of Swords to sit back and reflect, that now you're traveling through the darker part of either ourselves, our feelings, events that we experienced that didn't make us feel good, that you were able to rest up, reconsider, rethink, analyze, whatever it is that you needed to do, Aries, to process the difficulties that you may have experienced in October as well as in November. So now you're going into December. You've illuminated those darker aspects of yourself. You brought it into the light. You dealt with the doubt, the fear, the shame, the guilt. You worked through it, whether you were journaling, you went to therapy, whatever it is, you took a walk in a park, whatever it is that you needed to do, Aries, to process the discomfort and discontent you may have experienced in October and November. You've done that work, or you're finishing it up going into December, which brings us to the card that represents December, which is the World card. So another major arcana, which represents the larger themes and arcs in our lives, that it's not just a week or a month. This is, could be several months or even years of us just trying to, move through different areas of our lives and trying to deal with the larger aspects that affect us as we grow. So the World card for the month of December represents completion, right? And I think that directly, okay, I cut my nail, so I can't pick up cards right now. The Moon card, the World card rather, represents your pathway on under the moon, trying to illuminate and heal and emotionally process some of the challenges you may have been going through, Aries, and you're finishing that cycle, right? And the World card isn't just about like, okay, we're done. It's, oh, Jesus, God. Like, it's all that effort that you put into, this part of your journey. It's finally like you're able to like shed that burden a little bit, but burden in the sense of the lesson, right? You've learned something here, that when you started this work in, say, September, October, earlier than that, that it was a lift for you. But every time you took that, that next step, that the following step, the step after that you were learning as you were going, you were like, oh, that's why I felt that way. Or, probably shouldn't have said that. Or, you know what, when I was at work and that person said this thing, that wasn't because of me. They were going through their own thing. I'm processing that. I'm not the one who messed up. They got stuff they need to work through. I'm okay. So the World card, for the month of December is you taking, now that you've had the time to reflect through November and process some of those challenges, that you're like, okay, I get it. I see it. I see the challenges. And as new things, because with every end of a cycle comes the start of a new cycle, you'll be able to recognize, oh, no, that's them. They need to heal. Or, you know what? I know why I'm reacting that way because, 4 years ago, somebody did something to me and I've been carrying that pain, that guilt, that shame, that doubt, whatever it is. And that's why I react from that place. So by completing the cycle, you're able to, again, this, like the wreath represents victory, success, like you're at the finish line type thing, that you see what's going on here and you're able to recognize those patterns, those habits, those behaviors that might not have been healthy for you, which then takes us to our energy going into January, into 2021. Sorry. Which is the Five of Wands. So the wands represent passion, right? That's the fire energy within us. And Aries, you are, the first sign of the zodiac, born out of flames. You are all about that passion, right? Whether people see it or not, you have a lot of ambition. And once you find what ignites that spark in you, you're going to rip through it like, flame through a barn, which, sorry if that is triggering for anyone, I guess. But yeah, so Five of Wands can represent, the healthy challenge of ideas. Perhaps it's with other people, ideas within yourself. It could be, yeah, very much so in like the workplace where it's like you guys all may be competing for this new project or a new job or whatever it is. Like, but because you've done this work, Aries, the healing and reflecting in November upon some of the issues that have challenged you in your growth to be a better person, stronger person, the person you want to be, meant to be, that you're finishing that cycle in December. You may be presented with opportunities or challenges, hurdles, the things that people say, whatever it is, things that say back in the summer may have triggered you, that you're like, oh, no, I've done the work. I'm recognizing it. I'm done with that cycle. I'm ready for something new. And then January is like, all right, well, buckle up. We got something new. It's time for you to express those passions. And as you're doing that, don't let that, the shame, doubt, fear, guilt, anxiety, things like that keep you from picking up your wand of passion and your ideas and wielding it in an effective way, right? Because when you have an idea, Aries, and you know that you want to push it through, that you're feeling it, this is what I want to do with my life or what I want to do right now, that don't let doubt and shame and fear hold you back. You're done with that cycle, right? December is saying you're finished with it. You're healing, you're letting it go, you're tying it up with the bow, and you're, not putting it under the tree because unless you, see it as the lesson that you had is a gift, right? But perhaps that is the better metaphor, that the lessons that you've learned, the challenges that you process, the emotions that you've analyzed and healed through, that is a gift for yourself because you are growing into the person you want to be. And as you're leaving December and going into January, whatever opportunity may arise for you, whether it's in, the job place, whether it's like an idea you want to have, a project you want to work on, a volunteer opportunity, even a relationship, when something is presented to you and you're like, oh, and you have that opportunity to do something there and to express your idea, don't let the past hold you back. Pick up that wand, express yourself, and know that what you have to say, what you have to do, what you have to offer is valid and important as well. Okay, so we are now going to clarify our 3 cards here, Aries. Our first card, the moon, we're going to use the Oracle of the 7 Energies deck. And, okay, here we go. And is the 7th card. It is a deep breath. I do like to peek through the book just to make sure I'm, just covering it effectively. Okay, so a deep breath represents a genuine expectation of danger. It could be a projection of threat without substance, fight or flight, an inability to focus, trusting in the universe as a way to release fear. And I'll read a little bit more because that was just like a bunch of themes, but fear is asking for your attention and healing right now. You or another are operating from the position of fear. If you also see red flags, you might be headed toward genuine danger, perhaps repeating a lesson you don't need to learn again. Yeah, see, you've already done this work, Aries. You take the time in November to reflect, to process. Again, journaling, therapy, walking through a park, whatever it was that helped you clear your mind, process your feelings, analyze, habits and behaviors and reactions that you may have to people that weren't necessarily healthy, or things that you may have been doing that weren't healthy for you personally. Like, you found a way to deal with this, but don't let those fears, continue into the month of December, right? The advice with the moon card is you need to be mindful, right? That you got to trust and accept that, yes, there will be moments of discomfort and discontent, especially as you move out of your comfort zone, right? Especially with this Five of Wands energy and going into December, or rather into January, and leaving the month of December, that you will need to take the time to just, okay, I've been through this before. I know how I used to react, but that's not how we're doing this, because I know that is trauma that I experienced as a child. That is how I was treated in that relationship. That's where that's coming from. That's where that pain or grief, whatever it is that might surface as you're going through December and completing the cycle. Take that deep breath. Take the moment to choose love over fear, right? You don't have to be stuck in the past, Aries. You've done this work. You're allowed to now enjoy your life and appreciate, the better things that we have to offer to the world, versus the fear of what people may think of us as we try to be ourselves, or the doubt we may experience as we go through our journey. All right, so we're gonna do the World card next, and we're gonna use Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck, Oracle deck, to clarify the World card. All right, I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do you have, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck, for dear sweet Aries, Celestial Divine? All right, we're looking for one card, please. One card. Ooh, and there it is. All right, and it is the Arrow Master, and it represents hitting the mark, having intention, and detachment. Very interesting. Okay, so let me grab the book as well. So this is number 10. Oh, that's number 5. That's 10. Okay, here we go. So the Arrow Master appears. The Arrow Master appears to help you target your intentions and teaches you how to shoot straight for the stars. I love that. The message is to be deliberate about focusing your dreams and desires with intention, and about aligning with the intention of spirit. Then let them fly on the wind, directed by the divine, until they reach your goal. So yeah, Aries, as when you have a good idea or something that just, sparks that fire in you, and you're like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. This is what I love. I want to go here. Like, when you have that fire and you set off, like, aligned with spiritual intention, like what is behind you, this motivation, right? What is behind the direction? Why are you directing your arrow in this position, right? And towards that position, like, what is that goal that you have before you? Because remember, you're completing a cycle in December. So when you do have that opportunity that gets presented to you, whether, again, workplace, projects, love, whatever it might be, that, yeah, it's okay to ask the question behind them, like, am I doing this from a position of love? Am I doing this from a position of fear, doubt? Am I doing this because I want to make the world a better place, because I want to get rich? Like, whatever it is, just know that you want to make sure that however you're directing your energy, Aries, that you're not going to accidentally shoot yourself in the foot, right? At the point is to ask, am I directing my energies in the direction that, sparks the highest joy for me, that resonates most with my goals in life? Because sometimes when we think we've completed a cycle, we may start repeating habits if we don't actually take those lessons with us. So just something to be mindful of as you're going through your journey here, especially because, sorry, I need some water. September, October, November may have been a challenging time for you, Aries. You may not have felt as bold or as beautiful as you normally do. You may have, struggled more, than you're used to. So I'm going to ask the Super Attractor Oracle cards for a word of advice, some tip, some mantra, just something that you can take, Aries, as you traverse through December and make your way into the new year of 2022, aligning with this Five of Wands energy as this new opportunity comes through to you. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What advice do we have for dear sweet Aries, celestial divine? What advice, what energy should Aries embody going into the month of January, considering all the fun, difficult, but learning work, educational work that Aries has gone through from, you know, the last couple of months. Because again, the moon card, the world card, like these are big energies for you, Aries. These aren't little things, especially because, you know, you're not one to let things sit in the dark. Generally, you're, you know, that fiery nature that you're more willing to just, you know, let's just handle it, let's squash it, let's just keep going. But when you let the things in the dark, you know, settle, they start to, you know, decompose, and that smell starts to get to you, right? And you're like, oh my God, what are we doing here? How do I fix this? Okay, here we go. And here we are. I believe I'm worthy. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. And Aries, yes, 100%. Like, there's nothing more I can say is that if you remember why you did this work, right? The moon work, why you're completing the cycle with the world card. If you take in the intention behind, if you take in a more spiritual intention behind the decisions that you make, that you're not just going to jump at whatever opportunity and just say whatever, you're going to be thoughtful behind it. And if you hold on to this idea that you're allowed to be happy for yourself, you're allowed to be proud of yourself, you're allowed to feel good about the work that you do, the people that you have and decide and choose to keep in your life and interact with, you're allowed to feel good. You don't want to keep people in your life who are going to hurt you, right? You don't want to do work that's going to make you feel worse, especially if your highest spiritual intention is to say, make the world a better place or help people. If you're doing work that doesn't align with those intentions that you have in the world, then that you'll recognize that with that Five of Wands and be like, wait, I want to make sure that whatever ideas that I have, whatever projects that I work on, relationships that I have in my life are healthy for me, and that I'm expressing my passions in a way that reflects what I want out of my life, which that self-value, that self-worth, that feeling good energy, you can get there. You can have that. You can have that in the work that you do, the relationships that you have, as long as you remember to take a deep breath, right? Don't let the habits and behaviors of the past, things that may have triggered you before, recognize those patterns. Know that you're done with that cycle. You're not going to let those things affect you anymore. And that as you grow, you will continue to feel good. But all right, Aries, that does complete your December 2021 reading. Again, this is Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope that this resonates with you, and I will see you in 2022.